Welcome back to Daily Flash. Jessica and Mitch here. Now, ovarian cancer is hard to detect in its early stages, and that's because symptoms are pretty vague. But this cancer is the fifth leading cause of cancer deaths among women, according to the American Cancer Society. Here to tell us more is OBGYN Dr. Wendy McDonald. Ovarian cancer affects thousands of women. It's literally a silent killer because there's very little to no symptoms. How do you know if there's something going on? I mean, this is scary.
It is scary. It's one of the cancers that we really don't have a great way of screening for. There's a lot of cancers we screen for, right? Like breast cancer, we screen with mammograms. Cervical cancer, we screen with Pap tests. There's not a great screening test for ovarian cancer. So you really have to just be in tune with your symptoms. And you also have to know something about your risk factors and even family history in order to be on the lookout for it.
So what should women do to make sure their body is healthy?
So first of all, get your regular checkups every year. That's the first thing that you can do because an exam, a pelvic exam, is also going to hopefully reveal any enlargement or mass in the pelvis. It's also important to know your family history. Talk to grandma and auntie about why did great aunt pass away? You know, they say, oh, it's old age. Old age is not a diagnosis. Like it is, but it's not a diagnosis when it comes to like mortality and death. And so knowing a little bit more about your family history can help you be on the lookout. If you start noticing increased abdominal swelling or space in your belly that just feels like it's enlarged more than just our regular like COVID weight, right?
Right.
Or bloating or feeling like you're full, or even paradoxically like losing weight, you feel like your belly is getting bigger but you're actually losing weight. Those are really red flags. But it's really about just kind of getting your screening and being on the lookout for anything that could be abnormal.
So are you at a high risk if you had a child as an older woman or no kids at all? And if so, why?
So you are at higher risk if you've never had children before or if you had children later in life. You're at lower risk if you've actually been on birth control, hormonal birth control for an extended period of time throughout your childbearing years. So that kind of can offset for people who have never been pregnant. Actually, hormonal birth control can actually help to reduce that risk of ovarian cancer. Why? I don't think we really know why. I think the issue with the ovaries is that they can cellularly kind of start to become abnormal over time as the wheels are in motion. It's almost like if you have an engine that's on all the time, eventually something might kind of lock up. But if you're able to like park it and not use it very often, you may have less likelihood of that happening. And so it is an issue where if you have less use or dormancy, I should say, of the ovaries, which occurs in pregnancy or occurs in birth control, then the ovaries have more of an opportunity to kind of like go awry.
So what if you have a family history of breast cancer? Does this put you at a high risk?
Yes, a family history of breast cancer puts you at higher risk. A family history, of course, of ovarian cancer puts you at higher risk. Colon cancer puts you at
Wow.
higher risk. All of those things put you at an increased risk for ovarian cancer. So breast cancer, and especially breast cancer within the family or multiple family members, can increase your risk for ovarian cancer. And so it is something to know as far as like if you have two people on your family who've had ovarian cancer, they should be, you should be screened and maybe even genetically screened, looking for the BRCA gene, the BRCA gene, things like that.
Let's talk about age, because can this affect women from all ages or just older women?
It can affect women of all ages, but as you get older, your risk actually goes up. So postmenopausal people are at higher risk of ovarian cancer, much less people who are younger than menopause. So under the age of 50, the risk is substantially lower. But postmenopausal people, the risk is higher. And so I told you being on birth control, hormonal birth control can help. But then on the flip side, if you're on hormone replacement therapy in postmenopause, that can actually also increase your risk. So your risk is lower if you're on hormonal birth control when you're younger, but your risk is higher if you're on like a menopausal, postmenopausal hormonal replacement therapy.
Well, in other words, you have to get checked. Okay, so doctor, thank you for sharing this information with us. To learn more about other women health issues, visit dreverywomen.com. Thank you so much.